So a lot of people might have been wondering, hey, where's the tier list? Why aren't you getting in on the tier list craze? You know, we saw part 1, there was no tier list. Part 2, there was no tier list. It's because there weren't any fights, and I don't know, that stuff just bait, right? It's just like, why do you want to know that Gogeta and Vegito are the best characters in the game? You already know that. You're smart enough, right? So I wasn't really interested in doing like the bait, like, oh my god, this is a real meta shakeup, when it's just like, no, it was just people dragging Vegito to the top and then dragging Gogeta to the top, right? So I don't know, didn't really appeal to me. Felt like wasted time to tell you things you already knew. But yeah, I'm not even hiding it. Here's the list. I am switching it up though. So if you're interested in why characters are in here, listen to this part. You only have to listen to this part. You can click off the video after, but they are not ordered. They're just grouped by color, so it is easy to be like, oh, how good is Strength Beast? Oh, he's right here. You know, he's right here. Are there any other Strength characters beside him? No. So you don't need to worry about this row containing another Strength character if you're looking for one, like Evo Vegeta down here. If you want to know if Evo Vegeta is in 0.5, you just look for Beast, be like, oh, there's no other Strength character, so he's not in this row. Secondly, what do the tiers mean? Tier 0, I think this is just an obvious gap in the game, but as I've played more, and I'm going to actually be having a Formidable Battle tier list in this same video, I'll split them up by timestamp, because I think Formidable Battle is real, and I think Formidable Battle is completely different in what you need to be the strongest type of character, as indicated by a lot of people valuing characters like Broly and Beast themselves. But specifically, it has enlightened me to characters like Gohan, who is amazing in the Formidable Battle content to me. I think this character is grossly underrated right now, and I basically just took his team through the Formidable Battle without any retries, one-shot everything, didn't need to worry about it, and I do think it's content that matters. So let's just get into the list from the top down. Yeah, Vegito and Gogeta gap the game. They even gap the newest content in Part 3. It's not really that close. They're the most important character on any given team. And I actually think that people will call the fights not hard enough because they exist. But how do I say this? They couldn't have not been built the way they are, given that they have restrictions, right? They're only 2 turns each. The issue is, if they make content that could actually challenge them, that could actually phase them in any way possible, like once they fused, this entire list is evaporated. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, 80% of the game becomes bad, oh, 90% of the game becomes bad. If they make content that tries to challenge Vegito and Gogeta, that like once they're in those forms, this entire list becomes obsolete. There's nothing here for them, right? So that is sort of the issue that is posed. I don't think we'll be getting another fight even equal to them until about Tanabata, and by then we would have had like Saiyan Day, Golden Week, etc., to sort of pad out the teams with stronger and stronger characters, easy A's, the proper 10-year power creep. But until then, I would look at any showcases using Vegito and Gogeta with some skepticism, to me, because I think currently that if you run a showcase with either of these characters, you can just play alone with these characters and be like, hell yeah, dude, Vegito and Gogeta. But if you run Vegito and Gogeta, and you're running like, I don't know, fucking PUR Kid Buu, and you're like, wow, PUR Kid Buu can really stand up to this content. It's like, no, he can't. It's just these guys. Like, it's whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they are gapping the game in a way that even Beast Gohan wasn't getting away with in the 9th. You know what I mean? Like, the 9th anniversary, people were like, the game's boring because of Beast Gohan. If you're running both of these characters on a team, like, essentially the other characters don't matter. Well, there are a type of character that still matters, and it's the 0.5 squad. So there's come a phenomenon in Dokkan Battle right now, where because the tier 0 is these 2 extremely strong characters who can sometimes slot 1, but more often than not shouldn't be, there needs to be people to hold down slot 1. And long may he reign, characters like Beast Gohan, Tech Broly, Gotenks, Int Broly have really shown their colors as extremely powerful options. Like, if you're building a team and you need a slot 1, you're putting them in first. Then you're considering characters like AGL Goku. This Goku, you know, I remember people were saying during the 9th that like I don't, you know, these two could never be the same like power. Vegeta's so obviously better. It just seems so obvious that Goku would age like a god. Like, we are going to get into the fact that there's now dodge canceling in probably the hardest fight, which means, you know, or one of the hardest fights. So we need to consider that, like, you know, a character like Tech UI might need to help him. But for the early game, for a lot of content, AGL, UI Goku, and the gang have become such powerful slot 1s. The reason I put Buhan up here is just because he's broken. I don't really consider him the same as these characters. It's just, I mean, you look at his kit and you go, what the fuck happened? It is what it is. And LR AGL Goku is here because I respect him. One, he can slot 1 in a pinch. Transformation's great. Active rage turn. Straight into his transformation with huge support. And I expect him to be pretty just like plug and play on basically every single team that can have him. Slot 1, slot 2, slot 3. He just, I don't know. He's a great unrestricted character and I really respect that. Tier 1. Tier 1 are powerful characters that just don't, who aren't required for a team. They're characters that you're picking your characters for a team and you're like, oh, I should bring them. That's my like 4th choice. You know, I picked my 2 gods of the game. I picked my 1 or 2 first slots like Beast or Broly or, you know, Uncontrollable Power Beast or AGL UI, and then like, who do I want to fill this team out with? That's why I would consider tier 1 characters like Tech UI, who's like a good, you know, pardon the pun, but tech character where he comes in to help with dodge canceling. He comes in to be pretty reliable. You don't really need to rely on his domain like you used to as well. Like, he's not, the domain isn't the star that like keeps a team afloat like it is with the Universal Survival Saga category characters like Evoken. Instead, when he's just running this ancillary role, it's just like you're playing through all these phases and then you get to him eventually and it's like, oh, I'll just pop the domain here. You know, free turn, basically a Ghost Usher turn. Yeah, pretty powerful still. Buhan, I think his team continues to be pretty solid. It's just good categories. I think he's just a strong character overall, though I don't really think... I think the biggest gap in power is like, it's so shaky. Because I do think Buhan is good, but I don't think Buhan's close to these characters and what he's up to. I just think he's good. But I also don't think that 0.5 is so much higher than tier 1. It's just like, it's hard to take a character like Buhan, who is doing strong things, out of this area here, because he ultimately is doing strong things. Same with Tech Gogeta, who provides a great pairing with the Fuse Gogeta, as well as the Vegito. Pretty reliable, not really getting blown up yet. I think this character will start to show his age much more and will move down once we see him in more of the AoE content. That looks good like Buhan, but maybe slightly worse. I can't really tell yet. So I'm putting him safely in tier 1 for now because we know he's good. Great Ape Vegeta is also being placed in tier 1 because we know he's good, but you guys think I should do this? You think I should put him here, actually? Think I should put him here? How's he looking? I'm going to put him here, now that I'm looking at this list. I'm going to put him here because I do think he's a slot 1 god. But this could change really fast, but, you know. Evil Vegeta is a good tech unit, like a character to tech in, not a EEQ unit. Janemba is great. He's just baby Buhan and such. Fizz Janemba is still a great slot-in unit. I don't think he's like really impressive. The reason Gohan is down here, by the way, I would put Gohan, and you will see this later when I do the Formidable list in the same video. Gohan is a character I would actually move up, but because people are so down on him, I I want to split the difference because I do think there's some objectivity to be gleaned here where it's like, oh, if people are this down on him and I'm this high on him, let's go somewhere in the middle, but I will not move him lower than tier 1. I think this character is super fucking underrated, and I feel like every time I'm building a team and can put him on, I stick him in slot 2 and he never gets touched. He's just there. He's just immovable and he never dies, and he does, you know, a huge crit father-son Kamehameha and is shitting out damage. I don't see the downside to this character, I guess. Also, the AoE, I think, the AoE phase is int, I think, so it's just like, he has a natural protection against that. Glor is another unit where I can't really see being lower than Tech 1. He's just still the best support in the game. 3 turns is insane. I think his team is going to get a lot of help in the coming year. And I don't know. He just seems super solid. There's not really anything to say about this character. He's a character who is going to be sticking around for basically the entire year, I think. And we all know why. So yeah. Diamond Goku, I couldn't really move up. I feel like he's just doing weaker things than the rest of these characters, but I do think because he is a better version than this character down here, the AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku, he does deserve to be in the running up here more so, because like I said, he's, you know, he's just an improved version of a character I still think is okay. Goku and Frieza is a character that I want to say my opinion is getting better of, mostly because Frieza hasn't really cost me any runs lately. I've been running him a lot just to make sure, like, how do I feel about this unit? Everyone calls him dog shit. How do I feel? How do I feel? How do I feel? And the answer is okay. He's not, like, amazing. He's not the reason that you win a run, but I haven't really lost many runs because of him, weirdly enough. I mean, you do just end up switching into Goku and sort of standing there like a wall, but admittedly, I haven't taken him into the hardest content yet, and he is sort of a mystery in how much he's actually impacting the fight. And I've tried to do so without the Vegetas or Gogetas. I'm trying to run these characters without just popping both of these characters on a team. We are definitely going to get to the point where people are like, you know, man, look how much strength Janemba is doing for the Gogeta team. And it's like, is he though? Is he though? Is he though? Who is he? Oh. I feel like all of these characters are going to be argued still, but they're just going to sort of be Gogeta and Vegeta merchants, where people are going to omit the fact that they're just being run on the blanket team. Namek Goku is just, He's like a worse version of the 0.5 tiers. He's unreliable at best, but he is fun. Iconic moment. I think they could have done way more. At least he's not the single worst EZA of the anniversary, which is the guy down here, so... Super EZA into Gohan, our first LR Super EZA, is also pretty okay. I'm not really like wowed by him. I think he's good enough. I don't think he's even close to this. I think this is a pretty big gap, but I do think he sort of misses the cutoff point for me. We've already said enough about Strength Janemba. You know why he's here. Or it's not Strength Janemba, Strength Gogeta. You know why he's here. He's just okay. LR Slug, I haven't seen enough to feel like he's kicked off. And I feel like Demonic Power continues to be buffed, I guess. Maybe in a little bit I'll be more down on him, but for now, I'm just respecting what he was up to before. Hercule's a great banner unit. Super EZA Vegeto is just okay. He's in this tier because he's certainly not down here, I think. Maybe he is, but I don't know. He's just an okay unit. Janemba, God, I'm getting all my names mixed up. Jiren is a character who is really, really solid still. The fact that he gets into a standby so easy is just amazing. And I think now more than ever, we're going to see him just never transform. Just stay in the standby for like 3 full turns because you get 5 turns of it. So stay in it for 3 full turns and get essentially 3 full turns of complete safety in slot 1 is really valuable. He's supporting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Jiren is just a really tightly built character. And I don't really see him being like obliterated by the content yet. I think he's just on the line of good enough. AGL Easy A Frieza is really good. I think I placed him here one of the last ones. Do I want them up here? I think AGL Frieza is better than these characters. I kind of do. Yeah, I'm going to keep AGL Frieza up here. I think AGL Frieza, Easy A Frieza is really good. I think he's just another one of those characters who's like, the villains won this celebration, as far as Easy A's went. I don't really have much to say about him. He's just a flatly better version than I think both the Int Gohan and Goku. So it's just like, yeah, I guess I can have him up here. And the meta characters I'm not going to talk about too much. They're here because I think they're still fine, but they've fallen out of their powerful roles. So characters like Evo Ken were never top 10. Characters like the Family Kamehameha will probably struggle a bit. The standby will be fine, but I think like what you want to be doing is kind of set. That said, this is also a tier of characters I'm a little bit unsure of. Like this Banner Beer seems pretty good, but he gets blown up. He's a dodge character though. Kao Ken I think is just terrible, but I'm keeping him here because I don't know, maybe he's enough. I don't think so, but I want him here for like posterity, so don't take this too seriously. Heck Beerus seems like he'll still be pretty good. He's just like a wall unit, and I don't think what he does requires like specific like specificity or anything. I think he's easy to slot in. Fat Boo is a gimmick character, and I think that's still powerful. Super Boo is a character I think could easily move up to tier 2, but I haven't had enough time playing with him. So hopefully we'll see more content of just people trying this character out. But obviously with the 220% being predominantly like super units and, you know, the good guys, it's hard to find a place for Boo-Han. The trio is another one where they have restrictions, but I think I could imagine them being a solid floating support character now. They've moved out of their slot 1 position for a long time, but I don't think they're like a dead unit. Frieza 17 obviously still make Universal Survival Saga's cut, and there is an argument for the Universal Survival Saga team. Obviously, it has gotten 2 bunches of support, and a lot of their other characters are in very high tiers, and I think they just make it. Countess is also Team Universe 7, like the 17 unit as well. I forgot to put him up here, but I think 17 makes his cut. Super Saiyan 3 Fizz Goku, I still was really impressed with, but I certainly could see any of these characters being lose conditions, but if they're in your box, you might as well bring them. Same with Super Easy A Frieza. Again, the banner unit Beerus, and I think Super Saiyan 3 Goku gets to hang around for just a tiny bit longer, but we do have really long fights. The reason I put him here is that he has a ton of start of fight defense, so I think he could be very helpful for certain fights where, you know, you just need a slot 1 to trigger, so that later on you can just go into like Vegito or something, right? You just float him off. I think that's still valuable. So that is the, let's call this the Red Zone Supreme Battle, etc. tier list, and then we'll move on to the Formidable Battle tier list. So this is obviously going to be a much shorter branch because Formidable Battle didn't experience as big as a gap, I think, as the rest of the game did with the Iron fights, and there's a bit of a less focus. We've also had more time with them, the style of content, and as you can see as I switch over, the main difference is I think that the big trio here are the ticket winners. Characters who sort of scale down with the content as turns go on, but are extremely powerful in the immediate. So a big problem that's going to appear for someone like Broly is that the Jiren fights go really late. You know, really late into his transformation. Same with Beast, and same with Gotenks, who experiences like, what does he lose? Does he lose his guard? Or I think so. But either way, move the Vegeta and Gogeta down because I think they're pretty good, but just okay. Really, the only time they get a look at their transformation is typically in the final fight, because you're mostly 2-turning the fights before them. 2 or 3 turning, and they just don't get enough time. They're not useless, they're not bad, but certainly the most important character in the Formidable Battles section is your front line. Again, the only reason I'm not putting Gogeta, Vegeta up here is because he's just so new. I don't know, but I think he could very well be up here. And you know what? I'm gonna go really high on Vegeta. Actually, I think he's up here. I think you could just toss him in slot 1. I bet. Again, AGL Goku just so solid. Free turn. Golden Go Frieza is up here because a lot of those early bosses are stunnable. People don't actually realize that, like, pretty powerful. Evo Ken Vegeta's up here because he's kind of perfect for the event. He just floats off, and it's really hard to kill him with, like, ticky-tack damage. So I think he actually does experience a little bit of a boost here. Evo Ken Vegeta is not, like, the most impressive thing in the world because he hits so many times. It's not really a fight for that, but he is pretty reliable. Slot 2, slot 3. Going back to tier 0.5. Again, I just put a lot of respect on AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku's name. I think he does everything. He's one of those characters that's just super reliable, super strong, that he supports. Int Broly, same reason. Wuhan is reliable again. He's just not going to get caught a lot of times. Gohan moves up to 0.5 here. I ran only Gohan's team my entire Formidable Battle run. I never lost a single time. So, you know, multiple, like, 7 40-minute stages all cleared by this dude's team. Him never dying. Typically the fight ending with him father-son Kamehamehaing any of these sections because it's just like an HP condition or whatever a lot of the time. When they do go long. And yeah, he just held it down. I would just put Broly in slot 1, Beast in slot 1, and then Gohan in slot 2. And I never had to move any of them. I could literally see myself moving him up here, but I'm just going to be nice and put him down here. Florio, again, just floats off support. He provides support for literally every turn that it's going to take to beat the Formidable Battle, typically. I explained some of these. Goku's here because he's just a dodging character, nice and strong. Obviously, you don't really get to see his domain much. I could honestly probably see myself moving here. Wuhan, nice early domain pop. Gogeta, I actually saw this transformation quite a bit during my Formidable Battle runs, actually. I was running him a lot. Didn't really take any damage or die during the pre-transform phase, and had a easy time of getting into Gogeta. Hexcel's a monster. Janema's a monster. Janema's a monster. Super Gogeta is probably pretty fine here, pretty strong. I haven't used nothing though, but I think him and Super Vegeta could slot into your Formidable Battle teams with no problem. And the rest of this is pretty samey. The only difference is I took a few characters off that I just think their gimmick doesn't work. So like Int here, and you know, stacking Goku's here, Daima Goku's here. I mean, you could put him in here. I just don't think it's like, I don't think it matters essentially. The rest of these characters are just kind of like up front in your face. Maybe I can move this Goku off, but yeah, that's how I'm feeling about Formidable Battle right now. I think the thing that swaps mostly is that your frontliner, your first in slot, is the most important character on the team, because everyone else, they don't really have a way to pressure you, and you need those characters to get their hits in, get their attacks in. I think, again, we're more reliable, or if I wanted to like bloat the tier 0, I could do this. You know what I mean? But I'm only not doing that because it's like, I don't know, might as well fill out some of these slots. I don't know if I'd, you know, want to trust Super AGL Goku as much as I do like characters that don't need to dodge. If that makes sense. So yeah, it's gonna, I think that's how I feel about the game right now. Very, very good. A lot of characters are super strong. Characters that I'm missing, I'm sure, could fit in meta. And if you have any suggestions, and I see them, maybe I'll pop them in here, right? But yeah, I think the game's in a pretty good state. Dokkan Battle's looking good. We still need more time with the fights, obviously, and we're still obviously going to be getting, where are they? The gods and the force very, very soon. You know, very, very soon. So, with all that being said, like if you liked the video, subscribe to join the club. We all go make it, and peace.